How's it going, boys? It's Monopuma. I would do a full intro, but if you haven't watched it, this is a part 2 of my Resident Evil Requiem playthrough and summary. So, if you haven't watched it, I recommend you go watch part 1 and come back to this video so you fully get caught up on the story and what I've done so far. Anyways, lads, before we start, like and subscribe as it helps the channel, and let's cut the app and get right back into where we left off. Where we last ended off, Grace managed to walk right into the hands of both Dr. Gideon and Wesker, or Zeno in this case, and from here is taken away by a helicopter to Racoon City. Next we find Sherry in the bathroom removing her glove and seeing the effects of the T-virus also affecting her. Now if you don't remember who Sherry is, she's the girl from Resident Evil 2 that Claire saved from the nuns at the orphanage.
It's right behind you.
What?
We cut to our boy Leon in the Porsche driving towards the place where it all began, Racoon City. Finally arriving at Racoon City, reminiscing over all the times we've been here. Now this is just a place frozen in time, lost to a massive nuke and no zombies. We enter through this hotel and push it through the revolving door, looking at our surroundings, realizing I have to deal with a massive fuck off spider. Great, I'm doing a fucking Spider-Man now. Since apparently instead of hordes of zombies, let's make it better and use spiders. All I can say really is that I fucking hate spiders with a burning homosexual passion, and I don't want to deal with this thing at all. Getting blocked in the corner and it's just launching us through a wall. We heading upstairs, we find this babies. Yeah, so we're probably gonna see more of these for all I know. Aborting all the premature spiders, we've been placed into this massive annoying looping area and been tasked to defeat the giant spider, which we notice that the big spider bussy has some warts on the back and shooting that must be its weak point.
I can tell right now I'm about to nut. I'm about to nut that shit.
After looping the spider for hours like DBD, like Dead by Daylight, we finally finish it off and manage to go through 4 floors and finishing it off with our trusty axe and another beautifully crafted one-liner by Leon.
Oh, I miss our Racoon City hospitality.
Oh, Leon, that was fucking amazing. You're so funny. Oh my god. I hope you grab me with those massive meaty biceps and just fuck this shit out of me, you nasty boy. Oh, Leon, you dirty little manhole. Traversing through the underground trains and heading out, we find an old massive gate with an incomplete C4 on the gate. Well, if it isn't obvious, it's time that we scout the entire Racoon City to find the parts to create the detonator. Right after finding an old BSAA base, confusing why they're here, but we don't question it and we just start to use their stuff. Turn the generator back on, we find this tactical tracker, which basically the more kills we get, the more points we get. We can buy guns, attachments, ammo, armor, health, and it's a pretty cool, interesting feature to add. Also turning on the computer, we find a map of Racoon City and discover from Sherry the missile launcher Racoon City was never ordered by the government official. Finding this out, it appears Gideon and Zeno have found out we've been snooping around, and now Gideon is tasked to hunt us down. Well, like I said, we need to run around the entire city to find 3 parts for the detonator to blow up the gate. So to save myself time and not spend 2 to 3 hours going through this entire section, I'm just going to give brief summaries of what happened for each part. So here we go. For the first part, we go through this warehouse where I think I've died about 2 to 3 times and kill around 30 zombies, climbing up these massive shelves, eventually ending up at the roof, finding our first part and scouting out the next few locations and the gas station. Next, heading through some dark corridors, finding a garage door that visibly needs a fuse. So after maybe 2 minutes of walking, and again dying about 3 times, finding zombies, resurrected zombie, and this fat zombie chud, finally we do prevail, turn the valve, and gain access to this room upstairs and grab the fuse. Eradicating this zombie by the garage door, I realize I need 2 damn fuses, because of course. Seeing a convenient ladder, we walk through this somewhat flooded parking garage, nearly dying at every encounter. We easily grab the next fuse and finally gain access to both the gas station and the next detonator location. We also stumble upon some BSAA soldiers who have passed. They do leave their phones and we get some insight on what happened to these guys.
Get your ass down from here now, boy! And you too! You two obviously want to suck what a real man has, so get down on your knees and suck every last drop of my cum until my dick is drained, now!
Okay, so this didn't actually happen, but Zeno did absolutely destroy these guys. Later to cut into both Zeno and Grace being dropped off in some location. We also start digging in these soldiers' guts and find a BSAA key for supply drop, which gives us mainly ammo and heals, which is pretty epic. I can't lie, it's going to be really helpful later on. We're back with Leon, and now we keep moving. Entering this massive apartment complex, we find the BSAA soldiers who can literally, for some reason, just fire their guns. We find a crank which we'll probably need later, and also a literal suicide bomber. After reaching the roof, knowing I'm close to the next part, I find myself having to dodge literal rockets. So apparently, despite all the years of the infection, these zombies can now shoot missile-guided rockets at me and will absolutely blow my ass up. Oh! Sniping all of them and taking out any stragglers, we grab the second part and find a note about the repair kit to fix the detonator. Next, we head right into the gas station, and to be honest, there's nothing. We do find both the gas can and where we need to fill up the gas, but we gotta turn on the generator so we can actually get out. But in Resident Evil fashion, the lumberjack arrives, and a large horde also arrives, fighting him off and a massive fire magically appearing to get rid of all the threats. Putting amazing petrol in our can, we can finally leave the petrol station and head back to this area where we found the first part of the detonator. We fuel the generator with fuel and zipline across to the building, breaking doors and bouncing on thin beams to cross, later getting to this entire glass window room. Shooting the windows will make the enemies fall. Plus, I'm not gonna make this stupid mistake like this quote-unquote pro video game reviewer. We finally get to the roof and find the last part, and we can finally head back to the main gate. However, there's no easy way down, so we have to take this dodgy lift down, having to rotate around both sides to lower both sides, being diddled by a number of zombies. Finally getting into position, we slowly head down with zombies literally dropping down on the elevator, and this game basically becoming a COD Zombies map. The elevator breaks, but we thankfully do reach a ground floor and stumble into even more zombies. We clear them out, exiting through the sewer and looping back to the camp. Later we repair the detonator, blow up the gates, we hop on our new motorbike, and head off deeper into Racoon City. Finally on the road, with Leon and Sherry talking and cracking a joke.
Good to hear. How are the roads? Leon?
Just a few potholes.
Leon. Oh, you're making my bumhole looser the more you talk. We find Gideon with a fucking RPG and these mutant dogs chasing us down. From here, we can finally focus on driving and killing the mutant dogs. We do catch up with Gideon and riddle him with bullets, but he casually just eats them and drives off, blocking our path multiple times, where there's only one logical thing we can do to catch up to Gideon, because we casually drive up a whole building with a motorcycle and jump across like an absolute Chad Leon is with ease. This also made me realize the sheer difference in both Grace and Leon. Grace literally going through every horror nightmare imaginable, and Leon strolling through zombies like nothing and riding up buildings. It's just absolute cinema. After catching up with Gideon, we do a little Mexican standoff with our bikes. We shoot at each other, hitting his fuel tank as he falls off with his bike off the bridge and blows up along with his bike. Finally defeating that grey Peter Nutsack, and Leon dropping an amazing one-liner.
Should've worn a helmet.
Oh, Leon, just fuck me, please. Please, don't go. We arrive at a very familiar location we all know all too well. Traversing through the extremely familiar road, we find ourselves back at where it all began. Heading inside the RPD, we're instantly flashed with memories from Leon and ourselves as the player. Honestly, to break from the story quickly, this place, looping Mr. X, dodging all the zombies, the liquors, the puzzles, oh, there was so much love and attention to detail. You can just stop for a second and just appreciate everything that's happened here, everything that started. And also seeing Ada Wong, that was just awesome. Even seeing the welcome sign for Leon, which somehow is still there, and Leon reporting for duty when coming in, is really wholesome, but such a sad moment for Leon. Anyways, breaking from the memories, we head through the RPD hoping to find Grace. Pushing open this garage door and being reminded of the horrors of Resident Evil 2, we immediately find both Grace and Zeno talking about Racoon City, Elpis, and how Grace is an origin of many failures. Zeno believes Grace is the key to unlocking a great power, and him and Gideon tried to make clones of Grace in hopes to recreate this type of DNA or blood, but every attempt was a failure. We later realized Emily, this girl inside the Institute, was a clone of us. we were trying to save. We head into a flashback as Grace as a kid back in 1990 in what seems to an orphanage. We leave our room to find a doctor being surrounded by a number of grey girls with red eyes. Trying to shoot them, he gets swarmed and his neck snapped. Like the idiot Grace is, or this child, these monster children find us and try to make us their next victim. We hide underneath our bed and they easily storm in and try to find us. They somehow don't find us and get distracted by a scream in the far distance. We head back outside and try to find a way to escape the orphanage, the same one Claire came to with Sherry. We get into this back room where we nearly get caught a couple times. We grab this key and open the hatch down below and leave. Finding a dead end, we need to find someone to pull this ladder down. Doing some quick thinking and parkour, we get a fire poker. However, more of those creatures appear and come out of these coffins. We rush to the ladder and pull it down. Climbing the ladder and locking the hatch, we find ourselves inside a hidden facility, or the Umbrella Facility. We look at these slides and later getting Dexter Morgan and the scientist saying, they'll get rid of me. Cutting back to the present, Leon confronts both Grace and Xena. Grace passing out over the shock over the truth. Leon trying to shoot him, but him casually dodging the bullet. Later, a good old friend. Huh? Oh, fuck off. No.
Have fun.
Anyone but him.
I remember you.
Yep, still bulletproof as ever. Sick. Where is Ada when you need her?
I remember that too.
Why does he look like that? He casually smashes through all the walls while he nonchalantly walks towards us with his menacing aura.
You boys ready for your cock meat sandwich?
Every time getting through a new room, he just breaks through a whole new wall with ease, about to grab and tickle us. We do make it back to the main area, but Mr. X disappears weirdly. Hoping he's gone for good, we leave the RPD for good, heading straight to the orphanage. Coming back through the gun store, remembering the father and his daughter's beautiful family bonding moment. He hugs his daughter for reassurance and later leave. Yeah, that's basically it with the father and daughter. Oh fuck, they're dead. We finally reach the main front area of the orphanage, and while Mr. X returns, but with a massive rocket in his hands, hurling at us, but we do somehow manage to dodge him jumping down. We shoot his rocket in hand and activating his final form. Now having to do this fight all over again. Well, for some reason I can also just parry all his attacks with absolute ease, while he casually death stares us in utter disbelief. We manage to knock him down to stab his heart, but this just wasn't enough. So after more parrying and shooting him and thinking I was gonna die here, but Leon, despite the age, the virus, dodging in time, we stagger him again, stab his heart, and finish off Mr. X again with flying colors. We finally arrive at the orphanage, hoping for an easy access, but well, it's basically destroyed. Instead of taking the convenient ladder down into the facility, we need to go through a bunch of rubble and destroyed train cars to get down to the Umbrella hidden entrance. Going through this train and it's falling apart, Leon, the daddy he is, with no effort, jumping out at his right stop. We find a convenient rope and start heading down to the deeper depths of this labyrinth and find large branches scattered throughout down here. Assuming it's all safe, but knowing this game, it isn't, and we get jumped by literal plants. Easily getting rid of them, we push forward to find more of these annoying fuckers. We do keep easily destroying them with our trusty shotgun, and we do arrive at the bottom, but find ourselves at another boss fight. We stun them with ease and find a convenient amount of red explosive barrels next to the big fucker. Blowing him up and watching him burn. Finally getting rid of him, we can proceed to the actual Umbrella facility. Getting inside, we push forward, finding more laboratories and the abomination of the liquors inside these capsules. We make it into this security room with a map of the whole facility. Going through the cameras, we find both Grace and Zeno inside a room called Pandora. However, getting ready to leave, a number of Umbrella operatives start storming our position. And getting into position, this whole next couple part basically becomes a scene out of John Wick. Thankfully, with this powerful shotgun I got from the BSAA Battle Pass drops, it was a breeze taking them out. Pushing forward once again, basically right outside the Pandora room, we find a special character we all know and love. Yeah, Hunk. Here it's mostly a melee battle. I did try to shoot him in the fucking face, but this guy casually dodged a bullet point blank in the face with ease. Realizing I need to full commit to melee, we fully knock him down once, and him still managing to dodge my bullets and attempting to break my neck, I easily snap out of it. Also, I don't know if Hunk trained with the fucking ninja village or some shit, but oh my god, this guy has consistently been using smoke bombs and flashbanging me. But I mean, he's not exactly slick. As soon as he drops a flashbang, I can literally see him waddle away or behind a pillar. After an even more brutal fight with our little axes, finally, after a long and intense battle, we do manage to break through Hunk's defenses and stab him right in the neck, finishing Hunk and making sure also. Also, for the record, we've done like 3 boss fights in like the span of like maybe 20 minutes or less. Like, this is honestly insane. So I don't know what's gonna happen now. After all that, heading back to the main hallway, we finally reach the end of Pandora. But before intervening, Zeno tells us they need a password to unlock Elpis. Again, confronting Grace and Zeno, Leon attempting to take him down, but him casually just dodging all the bullets like nothing. We do manage to get a cheeky slash, but he pushes us away and easily just regenerates. Leon is now on the floor, about to be executed, suffering. Grace offers herself as a sacrifice to keep us alive. Thanks to Leon's quick thinking, we shoot this massive robotic arm, grab a hold and slowly descend deep into the facility. Finding a lucky platform, we both jump on and it takes us deep in, while again Leon giving us some amazing reassurance.
Are you okay?
Me? I feel like $1,000,000.
Yeah, sure, pal. Getting off into this type of disposal area, Leon immediately passes out.
If a man sticks something up his butt, he's considered gay automatically, and that's the toxicity in black culture.
Some time later, we find Grace coddling next to Leon. He finally wakes up and we can see the T-virus taking more and more of a heavy effect on Leon's body. Grace and Leon have some short discussion, primarily about Leon's condition and why he's doing all the stuff he's doing. An emotional and serious moment.
It's T-virus. Stage 3 infection.
If you're so sick, why would you come here?
I'm trying to hit.
This place. Racoon City was where it all began for me. When it all happened, I couldn't make a difference. So I am here now.
Leon gets back up and vows he'll destroy Elpis, and if anything happens to him, Grace will do the same and honor his word. Finally, getting back to the gameplay, we switch back to Grace again, and we need to find a way out of this dump. We notice a ledge we can climb, and Leon gives us Grace a big boost. From here, Grace is alone again, heading through the ventilation system and dropping down and find the control button for the massive claw. But of course, in perfect Resident Evil fashion, there's no override key. And now we gotta go find the key to help Leon push forward. Heading through, we see a familiar enemy I absolutely despise, the Licker. If you haven't played Resident Evil 2, this enemy is ruthless and extremely tanky. Despite their poor to no eyesight, they have an amazing hearing, and being quiet is the only way you can really get around these guys without wasting a large amount of ammo. We do manage to kill one of them with this injector and push forward, finding even more to deal with. We use our Molotov, but somehow literally just doesn't finish him off, so we use another injector and basically clear this entire area of all the Lickers. Entering the next room and easily getting rid of these zombies, we find the override key and can finally head back. There is one more Licker on the stairs, but we kind of just ignore this guy. We don't worry about him. We use the override key and remove the claw, allowing Leon to finally move on. We also get access to a magnetic key, which we'll figure out what it does later. We do go back to where we killed the Lickers and unlock this area, finding transfused blood in a box with an enemies orb. No idea what this does. Entering this next massive area, we find even more Lickers lurking around. If it were only Lickers, this would have been a breeze, but there is a couple zombies inside also. Despite being quiet and the Lickers having no eyesight, this bastard magically found me. I got then later getting gangbanged by 5 of them in a corner. Running it back, we do get to the other side, find a map plan, and find the last orb needed. Placing both orbs inside, we gain access and find a massive multiple monitoring room with a bunch of Grace's files. A floppy disk gets ejected, and Grace, with her great memory, remembers her mother's floppy disk she found. Placing inside the computer, we find a number of different files and video files. One of them being Grace's mother, and I'm assuming either Dr. Gideon or Dr. Spencer, before whatever happened to him. After that video is done, we do find one file labeled Grace. Leaving us on a cliffhanger, returning back to Leon, we head to the ladder and head back into the facility. Killing these zombies, we find out the infection is starting to take heavy effects on Leon, causing blurred vision and coughing. We do find a map of the place and continue into another area, needing an override key. Entering a new area where we find another horde of lickers. Thinking I can easily cheese this, I throw grenades and try to snipe the lickers with ease, until I realize they can actually climb up here. We find the last button to access these stairs to get to the override key. Coming back, we find more lickers in this room, casually just chilling on the ceiling. Easily getting rid of them thanks to this massive red barrels in the room, we can pass into the next area. However, there's a pod lockdown, and all the zombies in these pods decide to break out now. Dealing with those bastards and using the barrels to help me can actually continue forward to the elevator. We make it back up, but the infection has really had taken a heavy toll on Leon, stumbling and struggling to even stand. Get to the door just outside Pandora. Switching back to Grace, finally look at the file named Grace. We see another video of, I'm assuming, Dr. Gideon being handed a child named Grace, a normal child, and letting Grace's mother from here take responsibility. At this point, it's important we read in between the lines. After that video, we spot on the cameras Leon outside of Pandora, basically on the verge of death's door, passing out and collapsing against the door. Heading through this unique room up the elevator and standing outside of Pandora, we find Leon with little to no strength left, despite literally being at death's door and still be able to crack some amazing jokes. Fuck, bro, Leon's gonna die. Fuck, I didn't get to suck his dick yet, bro. Grace helps pick up Leon, and together they head inside to finally end Elpis. We arrive back and meet up. We claim we don't know the password, but Leon has full faith in us to do the right thing. Where from here we get a choice, to either destroy or release Elpis. Despite everything and wanting to keep to Leon's promise, we destroy Elpis.
I was wrong, and I am plagued by guilt. I'm gonna destroy Elpis. You promise you'll end this.
This is it.
From here, the entire system shuts down, Zeno being infuriated with our decision. Leon, in a final attempt, stabs Zeno in the neck and helps Grace escape onto a platform. Grace begs for Leon to jump, but Zeno and Leon do a final battle, but it's too one-sided. Zeno overpowers Leon with ease and knocks him to the floor with a final punch to the gut. Despite everything, Leon looks up at us one last time and says,
At least I could save you.
Oh, Leon. Oh fuck, what did I do? No. Grace manages to escape the facility, finding a helicopter waiting for her and being alone, filled with regrets and guilt, unable to save Leon. And boys, just like that, it's over. All I can say is this game was amazing, but the ending was just, I don't know. Seeing our amazing protagonist just die like that was just sad and... oh. Looks like we got one more chance to make things right. Where from here we get a choice to either destroy or release Elpis. Despite everything and wanting to keep to Leon's promise, we destroy Elpis. We release Elpis. The system activates fully, releasing a number of vials from inside the machine. Zeno not keeping his promise to keep Leon alive, despite Grace helping. Zeno uses the injector and gets ready to take down Leon with his newfound powers. However, Elpis was something different. Zeno is losing his powers. Instead of enhancing him, it was an antiviral, removing him of all his power. We later see Dr. Gideon enter again, finding out everything was a ruse and a lie. Elpis and Grace was never truly connected, but was really a bait by Spencer. Just like that, Gideon grows an entire tentacle arm from nowhere and slices Zeno's head clean off. Thankfully, Grace grabbing an antiviral and injecting Leon, fully saving him from the effects of the T-virus. From here, Gideon orders an entire self-destruction of the facility. In this moment, the whole system goes down and we're falling down to the very bottom, now activating a final stand against Gideon. I thought this would be an easy fight until I missed this Requiem shot. he somehow manages to produce electricity like fucking Electro and jumping right onto us with ease and hitting us with insane combos. Thankfully, we do manage to take him out here, but only to be faked out and getting to come back as a ginormous abomination. Something similar in Resident Evil 3, a nemesis. After seeing this ginormous creature, we shoot these red nuts on his body, dodging his attacks and being able to attack more of these balls. After doing this a couple times, we get grabbed by the beast. Thanks to the antiviral putting Leon back into his prime, we break his grasp, wall run on his arm, and stab the final massive nut, bringing him down to his knees. From here, the monster is defenseless and weak, shooting his hands off and saving our final bullet for his heart. Finishing him off, we shoot his heart and finally kill Gideon for good. After that intense battle, finding Grace passed out on the floor, it's obvious. There's no way out from here. All we can do now is accept our fate. Grace realizing this, instead of Leon leaving, Leon stays by Grace's side. They both accept their fate, each light going out one after another, later being fully immersed into deep darkness, waiting for it to end. Until a light flashing down on us, ropes descending, and finding a number of elite soldiers. Thankfully, these soldiers are BSAA soldiers, sent by none other than Chris Redfield. Just like that, we've been saved. Finally, coming back to the surface, we find Leon looking sexy as ever, reassuring Sherry they found a cure and we can now save Sherry from the T-virus. We quickly have a final chat with Grace, discussing Elpis and Grace wishing she could have done more to save Emily, but Leon giving us hope, saying that he missed all vitals. Despite us literally mag dumping her in the head, she's somehow alive. Just like that, we get local news reporting on the situation. Racoon City, the Umbrella facility being the origin of the virus, discovering the facility has been in operation for decades. Reopening the Oswald Spencer investigation case and his involvement with Umbrella, and Alyssa Ashcroft being labeled as a cover-up murder and being linked to Oswald. Later, police officers are outside the Rhodes Hill and find Emily inside the monster. Finally, the game's over. We've reached a good ending. We get a great cutscene of Grace back at the FBI, talking to Leon on the phone, giving updates on Emily, and asking how Sherry's doing. Until this Malteser interrupting this entire wholesome moment and making us go back to work, even adding a wholesome photo of both Emily and Grace. Thinking it's over, we get one last scene with more BSAA soldiers dead, and Umbrella soldiers back at Racoon City site, saying they're retrieving the objective before they send in the wolves. From here, the game cuts, and we roll the credits. Now, I have to admit, this was an experience. I don't want to drag this conclusion for more than 10 minutes, but this game generally was just amazing. Generally might have been one of my favorite horror games I've played from this year and maybe the last year or so. The switch between both Grace and Leon was honestly amazing. It was a perfect 50-50 of both characters that allowed the players to really experience both sides of the characters. We also get to experience the best of both worlds, the deep story and horror from Resident Evil 7 and Grace's story, and that bullshit but amazing action-filled side of Resident Evil 4 through Leon. Grace needing to be more sneaky and cautious of your equipment as everything is very limited. Unlike Leon, where you can just run and gun, blazing, killing everything, which is just so much fun and amazing. And it just gives you such new and different ways to approach every situation with every zombie, it being a normal or some type of mutation. The first person aspect with Grace, especially with the stalker at the beginning and in the underground area, really just made this game's horror just spike up so much, tremendously, and made the game just 1,000 times more horrifying and fun. Plus with Leon's and his dad jokes and his one-liners just made this really hardcore and intense moments just a little lighter and soft-hearted, which some may hate. Because it's someone like Leon, it's just perfect. It fits so well with him and his character. Plus, having all these amazing cameos, you would think cameos could ruin games or bring back they're just there to bring back that nostalgia. But in Resident Evil, they work extremely well, and they all these different cameos all have their important part placed into that story. There are so many times in this game where I would be doing a task, thinking I'm going to take a break and play another day, but this game only took me 2 days to finish. I was expecting to finish it in a week, but 2 days, which was, amazing. I had so much fun with it. But I think that's everything, lads. I don't think there's anything else I can talk about. This game was honestly amazing. Maybe one of my favorite Resident Evil games by far. So anyways, lads, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you boys later, and peace.
I said stroke 40 guys and 2 big fags, babies all on my teeth.